Yeah, that's factually all incorrect. And that's why this guy refuses to debate me, by the way, which I've debated actual surveyors about this very subject. So maybe everyone should check out the survey debate that I did, where I helped inform him of his own profession. But let's cover some of the basics here. So when we do engineering, we actually use plane survey. We never use geodetic surveying ever. In fact, we can't build bridges, railways, runways, buildings, or anything without assuming the Earth is flat. Now, all survey manuals will tell you that up to 100 square miles, not 120 meters, 100 square miles, you have to assume that the Earth is flat, completely neglect any notion of curvature. So like he said, they said, oh, well, it's good enough. It's so close that we can just treat it like it's flat. Well, no, you have to treat it like it's flat. So you establish a vertical plumb line that's perpendicular to the Earth, which is a plane. He's saying, well, you can just treat it like that, but it's really curved. And then you measure different distances, assuming a plane, assuming levels horizontal, and then you compile these together horizontally up to 100 square miles. And that's actually how we do engineering factually. So what they do with geodetic surveying is they assume the Earth's a sphere. They take the plane survey data, they stitch it together over long distances, and then they apply an R value, okay? That they assume. That's right, they assume it, just like he said. But then he said, no, yeah, we assume it, but evidence that it's correct is that we apply this number and it works always, every single time, no matter what we apply it to. Objectively incorrect also, which is why guys like this make a living off of lying. They have to lie, and they can't debate me live because I would expose him. So he has to lie in an edited video reading a script. So in reality, what happens is if you actually treated it as a radius value that was 1,000 miles bigger, the numbers would match reality better, because consistently they apply what's called a terrestrial refraction correction, which is 7/6R, and actually increases the radius value 15% as a default. So what they do, and again, I have a debate with a surveyor that's a geodetic surveyor, we go in detail about this. They actually go out, they take all the plane survey data, they stitch together, and then they look into a certain distance, say 20 miles away. The way they know it's 20 miles is the flat Earth measurements, and then they say, okay, where is it supposed to be if the Earth's a globe? And then they create a window, a predetermined window. It's called a tolerance, and any measurement that falls outside that window, they just throw them out. And it happens all the time. I asked him, well, what would happen if you didn't throw those out? He said, oh, the radius value would be way too big. Okay, so that's called begging the question in a Texas sharpshooter fallacy. It's fundamentally illogical and laughably incompetent. It doesn't prove anything. So then they throw all the data out that doesn't match their assumption in their predetermined window. And then it gets even worse than that. They use what's called a weighted mean. So that is, say you predict, the globe predicts 7, but the measurement shows 10, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, then you would apply a heavier weight to the ones closer to 7 so that your final average would be closer to what you needed it to be. So they throw all the data out that doesn't match because, quote unquote, it would make the radius value way too big. Then they apply a weighted mean to that to actually make it match the globe, and it still doesn't. On top of that, they have to then actually apply standard refraction, and usually they only get within 85% accuracy is considered optimal. If they get within 85% accuracy of the assumed radius value, then it works. So long story short, it's a big Texas sharpshooter fallacy, which if anyone doesn't know, that's like shooting at the wall and then going and drawing the target after you shoot. Right? It's a fallacy. That doesn't in any way mean anything is empirical or reality. So again, in reality, the way we build runways, railways, bridges, everything, we have to make flat Earth measurements completely neglect the notion of a curvature. It's not accounted for anywhere, or we couldn't build buildings. So if we were to apply your same logic, then you've just proved flat Earth. Because if whatever we're using to build must be true, or we wouldn't be able to build things, then that means that the Earth is flat. And this is provably the case, and that's why he had to cherry pick all the pages out of the book, and he had to misrepresent all of it and claim that the radius value always works. Well, how about this? I'll publicly say right now, I bet him $5,000 that he won't sit on a debate with me and substantiate that claim, because for a fact, it is not the case 100%. It doesn't match the radius value. So it's just begging the question. And every single thing we've heard in this entire debate has been begging the question. If I assume the Earth's a sphere, the sun must do this. If I assume the Earth goes around the sun, then this must be what causes the season. If I assume the Earth's a ball, then this must be what we do whenever we establish measurements. And since the video was so long, I'm gonna keep going. Another thing, the video was so long, dude. It was so long. This is what's annoying, is because it's misinformation, dude. Everything in that video is misinformation. We established elevation.
The same claim could be made about every damn assertion you just made, Austin. I find it highly objectionable. You disagree with him. He's talking about surveying work, a book that's been around for 45 years, that's making a practical difference to surveyors actually constructing buildings. You're differing. That means you can't both be speaking what is true. One of you must be false. But it doesn't mean that either one of you is a liar.
He is lying. He's lying.
Austin,
he's lying.
He's not lying, and
yes.
I really find it offensive that you would be so arrogant as to make that claim. I don't like it, Austin.
What's funny is, you know what's funny, Jim? He would make fun of you. He would make fun of you for challenging the moon landing. He would make fun of you for challenging Sandy Hook. He would clown you for challenging the moon landing. You don't seem to know who that guy is. You don't know him. You don't know him. He would make fun of you.
There's no decorum. You're excessively aggressive.
You interrupted me.
I want you to let us talk when it's our turn.
You interrupted me.
We don't have time to assess.
You interrupted me. I do have
Let us
decorum.
talk when it's our turn, Jim.
If he's gonna remain on this program, he's gonna have to show some deference to what's going on here and
Hey,
not
Jim,
make absurd claims.
Jim, listen.
Not lying.
Jim, let me say something. He can back up his claims. Okay? Wait, hold on, Jim. Let me finish what I'm saying. It's our turn to talk. You made a whole bunch of false
I gave you your turn to talk.
No, you played a 20-minute video. We're not even 10 minutes into our reply. Okay? You played a 20-minute video that we knew. All you had to do is say, you know of this video, can you respond to it? We didn't need to listen to it, but that's okay. You want to play it? That's fine. All right? So we're trying to respond. We're giving you facts, and we can prove that he's lying. Right? And the other thing is...
He's not lying. I can't tell you enough how objectionable I find that.
All right.
He sincerely believes everything he said. If he sincerely believes everything he said, he might be wrong, but he's not lying.
No, I've corrected him, and he's been corrected.
And you're claiming he's a liar is itself a lie because you have to know.
Jim, let me ask you a question. If somebody corrects you...
I'm really offended by this.
Jim, listen. If somebody corrects you, shows you evidence, and you ignore it and continue to say...
That's because you're making the question by assuming you're right. Frankly, I believe he's entitled to his opinion and that he's right.
Objection.
And that you insisting he's wrong and that he's lying are thereby lying. So
No, the way I know, let me clarify. The way I know,
give a free and open and balanced opportunity to discuss these issues.
you interrupted me though.
Take a couple more minutes if you want on this, but I'm not happy.
Okay, so the way I know that he's not being particularly honest is because he's actually been confronted with it. So he's been shown that it's not true, and then he went and made a video and omitted the evidence to present a narrative that's misleading to people. That requires intention, which is the definition of lying. We can disagree that he's lying, okay? But he is spreading misinformation, that's for sure. The way that we establish elevation, is we measure a vertical distance above the perpendicular horizontal baseline. That's how we measure elevations. Has nothing to do with the curved earth. I can pull up the government's official engineering site right now that says for up to 100 square miles, all engineering assumes that the earth is flat and uses plane survey. All of it. It is not in any way. How can you build a bridge assuming the earth is curved? He said it himself that it's curved, you just can't tell. It's close enough. So in reality, plane survey is how we get maps, distances, how we do engineering. The globe claims, oh, well, if we stitch them all together over a distance, I promise it would be curving. Let me actually change the radius by 15%, assume refraction, assume the curvature, throw out all the other measurements, cook the books, and then if I get within 80%, somehow that proves that the Earth's a ball, and then they hijack the horizon, which is optical, and claim that it's physical. And everything that I'm saying is a fact, okay? And that's why we have to assume the Earth is flat to get elevation. And that's why we have to assume the Earth is flat to build things, because if you assumed it was a globe, it wouldn't work. These are all facts. That's why I get very frustrated by videos like that. The same guy who says anyone that denies the moon landing is a complete idiot, they should be censored and all this stuff. Yeah, that's right. I don't like people like that. I don't like people that misrepresent information once it's been presented to them. So if we can get into the actual empirical evidence of it, that would be cool. But begging the question at the Earth's a sphere and then making calculative assumptions is not science, it's not empirical, it's effectively a religion.